Hey guys, this is Kamiguno, and today I'm doing a review for Spider-Verse Team Up Issue 3. And I know I'm doing this review a bit early. Usually I do not do my reviews on Wednesday, but this is a huge issue for me, which hopefully you guys all picked up your Spider-Verse Team Up issues in Spider-Verse Team Up Issue 3, because this is the return of Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz on Spider-Girl. So the second half of this book is their story, but the first half is the story of 5 Spider people trying to get one of the inheritors on their side. The inheritor they feel could rebel against their brother and sisters. So I thought that was an interesting story. They mixed some good Spider people in there. Spider-Britain, Anya, I would say, was more the main character for it. Artwork could be a bit better. I felt like it was sketchy at times, especially just detail. There's not a lot of detail in the artwork. But overall, I thought it was a very interesting story to bring one of the inheritors onto their side. Did I really see this coming? I don't know. Maybe they mentioned it in Superior Spider-Man, the one Edge of Spider-Verse issues, but I don't remember that this person was on their side or possibly could be on their side. So I think it's a great thing that they have this. You know, it's a one-up thing for Spider people, as the inheritors pretty much have they have a lot to defeat for the inheritors. So we'll see what happens. I thought it was a really interesting story. Art could be a bit better, but it definitely progresses the story. So let's talk about this second story, which is definitely the reason I did this review early, which is Spider-Girl and Uncle Ben together. Bugged. This is the return of Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz, their original creative team for Spider-Girl. So with this issue, we get to see that May is still pretty pissed. And Uncle Ben wants to talk to May about why she's pissed. And by the end of the issue, she's still pissed, which I was really surprised. I thought this issue was going to kind of wrap everything in a bow and understand May a bit more. But by the end of the issue, you kind of feel that this is not May at all. This is alternate reality May. Does it quite make sense? I don't know. I don't know if this, as a Spider-Girl fan, I want to say it does. Because I think in my head it makes more sense of how May was acting in Spider-Verse and being so angry. This reality makes a bit more sense, but at the same time, that the death scene of her parents felt very in the MCT universe, the regular MCT universe. But there's a lot of winks to say that this is not May, and that made me happy, and a lot of mixed feelings with that. But I will mention some of the references we see here, and I have a big theory, so wait on that. So some references we get to see is that Spider-Girl gets the saying wrong, because she says, with great power comes great responsibility. And then Uncle Ben says, must also come a subtle but profound difference. If you remember this line, and as you know, I read Spider-Girl over and over again, so I do know a lot of the lines. In Spider-Girl The End, April is talking to May, and they have that saying. He's like, oh, well, with great power comes great responsibility, and she believes that's killing. And that's April's belief. And it makes a lot of sense. April's belief is to kill, but May's belief is like, no, there is a subtle difference. There also must come great responsibility. And as April learns throughout her life, she says, I finally understand that profound difference. And that's why she goes back to save May, and that's Spider-Girl The End. So that line definitely references the April and May dynamic, that one line. And then also by the end, we have another line here. You really have to focus on lines because it's only 10 pages. But this is definitely showing that this is probably a different reality of May. I really hope there are an infinite number of alternate realities. Maybe even one with a Mayday Parker who woke up this morning to eat wheat cakes with her parents and baby brother. And then she's like, oh, let's kill Deimos. So is that referencing saying, hey, this is not May from this universe? That May is still happy. She is eating wheat cakes with her parents. So that reality still sticks. And, no pun intended. So let's shelf that idea for a second and talk about other references they have throughout the issue. And this issue has a lot of references for Spider-Girl's powers, which I thought was great, because it just shows how different Spider-Girl is from these other Spider people, which is really the point of Spider-Verse if you read The Amazing Spider-Man this week, is that even though they're from alternate realities, it doesn't mean that they don't have their purpose. So I think it's kind of interesting that they did that. And May, you know, she can magnetize her power. She has the spider, the web impact webbing. So there's a lot of things that she uses with her in her spider sense, that she was able to detect the hole because her spider sense is more sensitive than the other spider people. Will they use this in Amazing Spider-Man, the last issue? Who knows? But I think it's interesting that they definitely showcase those powers, which I think is always important to Spider-Girl. So I thought that was great. So going back to the reality, I have a big speculation that, you know, I do think Tom DeFalco is winking that this is not Mayday. Maybe because there wasn't 10 pages enough that they could change May's personality. Maybe with whatever's going in Amazing Spider-Man the next issue, they couldn't change her personality. So the biggest answer was, well, if we can't change her personality to be correct, then, which, you know, I think is semi-correct what Dan Slott's been doing, then we'll just say it's a different reality. And I think that, you know, it's a bit of a cop-out in a way. But at the same time, I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know how they're going to play this out in Dan Slott's run, and I do like the idea that she was angry, because, you know, in my mind, I feel that the reason she was angry is because it's May without her parents. You know, there's been many scenes where May's gotten angry. She does the same exact thing. She hits the wall, or she hits bricks. She hits bricks, and she's done that a lot in the past. But there's always someone to kind of bring her back. And at this point, she's like, what does bring me back? I have no parents. I have no home. I have no brother. So there's no point of her bringing back. And I think a really interesting perspective of this issue is that May is the character of redemption, but she can't redeem herself. She's redeemed so many so many villains in the past. Rapture, you know, Normie, Kane in a way. All those villains are redeemed. But once she does something wrong, and we've seen this in the series before, she blames herself, and she feels like she's the villain. And I thought that was a very strong a strong scene in this issue. So that's something I really enjoyed about this issue also. But getting back to my crazy theory, if this is not Mayday, I can't say if it's not. I mean, I do think there's a lot of winks that it's not. But if this is not Mayday, I think it's April. I know this is crazy, but I do think this is April. A lot of the things she's saying here, you know, May is obviously a clone of, if you guys don't know who April is, April is the clone of May. She was stuck in a test tube, and then 15 years later, she's a half hybrid, half Venom, Venom/human, and she escapes, and, you know, Spider-Girl at the end is about her redeeming herself. And a lot of her attitudes here feels like April. The anger feels like April a lot. But the question is, what version of April would this be? Especially since we don't see the half-Venom symbiote. She believes that she's Mayday. I think one version this can be is if April wasn't in the test tube and May was. I think that's kind of the alternate reality I'm thinking of, because she thinks she's Mayday, she's the Spider-Girl, she's angry, and I believe that's who April is. I think it would be interesting if they went that route. Of course, it'd answer all the Venom symbiote things and why she's not called April, but this is April if May was in the test tube. So we've never had the answer of who was the clone or not anyways, so maybe this is April. Another one that I feel like is a bit more flawed is maybe this is April if Mayday did die in Spider-Girl at the end. Because a lot of the same attitudes are here. But then again, she would have the Venom symbiote. But it would be ironic because she yelled at Uncle Ben in this issue saying, oh, well, what type of spider person would make their world end up like this? And in Spider-Girl at the end, their world ends up pretty similar to Uncle Ben's world. So I'm still sticking with April. You know, my headcanon, I think this is April. I don't know what they're going to do with Amazing Spider-Man. Hopefully it is a happy ending, but I'm glad that Tom DeFalco gave us kind of a alternate route by also giving us a lot of the goodness of what we enjoyed about Spider-Girl. So, of course, I had a lot to say about this. Hopefully you enjoyed my review. Overall, I gotta give this 4.5 stars. I can't, you know, go to the 5 stars. Do I think that, you know, both issues were perfect? I gotta say no, just because I don't think Spider-Verse is perfect. The first issue, again, you know, artwork could have been a bit better, and second issue, I could talk about all day. But overall, I'm gonna give both this whole issue of 4.5 stars. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also in the description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.